Welcome back to Vocals Exposed. I'm Nathan Kirk, and with me,
I'm Simon Start.
You can hold the mic a little closer.
Okay.
There we go.
Got it.
All right. It's been a while since the last episode. I know I say that at the beginning of every episode because, well, realistically, I can't find the time to keep recording weekly, but hopefully that changes in the future so that I could bring you guys some content and audio content as well. The beginning of today was pretty interesting. Not gonna lie. So it started out with me driving to Simon's house, and then I'm not sure what exactly got me on the idea. I think Simon probably mentioned that, like, something to do with the U.S., and I'm like, let's
do it.
Let's do it. But unfortunately, I didn't even have my passport on me, so we had to drive to back to Smiths Falls to get my passport and grab my longboard. We didn't end up using it, which is fine, but it's been kind of raining all day. And then last second we drove to the U.S. That was an interesting process.
Yeah. Well, I think you came over here and you wanted to start we didn't want to start the podcast right away. We wanted to do something, so we're like, let's go to the U.S. Yeah. Found like the biggest name on the map within an hour's away from us.
Yeah.
We're like, yep, that's the one.
Yeah. Good old Watertown. So shout out to the people in Watertown.
Yeah.
Interesting little town. I don't even know what to call it. Is it even a town?
I guess so. The name suggests it is.
Yeah.
It's got lots to offer there. Walmart, Popeyes.
It's weird because it's like it's a town, but like it's like bigger.
Yeah. Well, we
not
really
bigger,
saw
but
the
like
outskirts too.
Yeah, we were on the outskirts. We didn't actually make it to like the inner part of Watertown, but even on the, like, in quotations, outskirts, there's a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of people. I don't even know if it was like a long weekend holiday or something, but everywhere seemed busy for whatever reason. But yeah, it was interesting.
As the name would suggest, it rained, and Watertown was wet. So there was like no point in going downtown or sightseeing. We could not leave that car without drowning.
We even went into the mall because it was raining. Yeah. Bought a couple of things. I bought my brother a Rick and Morty beanie, or us Canadians would say a toque. Do you say toque? I never say toque.
I say hat. They're all hats in my eyes.
Yeah. What else did I buy? Oh yeah, I bought a sweater. And then, did we get anything else?
Yeah, I got that card game.
Oh yeah, the card game.
Yeah. I was like worried we were gonna shop too much. They were gonna like pull us aside to pay dues or whatever they do.
Oh yeah.
Like I got no clue. I'm over in America all the time for work.
Right.
But I'm always on the boat, so like they give you a little checklist asking if you brought anything over, and you always check no. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen here. If they're going to be like, all right, how much did you buy? $100. And they're going to give us like a receipt and like, here's your dues for transporting that over the border. I think in my mind it was just going to be way more complicated than it actually was.
I was thinking the whole time. I was like, dang, like how is it going to be like getting like into the U.S. Like, well, the guy was like, he barely even asked any questions, like simple questions, like how do you know each other, like, high school, stuff like that. But he's like, okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Literally, exactly, bye-bye. Yeah, and then, the rest was pretty easy. And then driving in miles per hour, we had to kind of do the settings thing on your car to switch to miles per hour. Yeah. And, like, of course, being from Ontario, you're kind of sketched out because you don't want to speed, but you don't want to drive, like, slow and piss people off. So, like, maybe the rule of thumb, I'm pretty sure, is like 5 mile an hour over. Because here it's in kilometers, so most people drive like 10 kilometers an hour over in an 80 zone. So it brings up to 90 kilometers an hour.
Oh, yeah. The thing that sketched me out most, though, was like seeing the gas stations like $3.70. And I'm like, $3.70 for a liter? Oh, like, I'm ready to go back. These people are not okay. But thank God they're in gallons.
You're like, $3.70 for like per liter. I'm just, like, the way you looked at me, you're like, It's like, oh no, it's in gallons, dude.
Yeah, I still hadn't converted in my head, but that makes it like way cheaper than Canada. So there they go. So what we got, like $1.70? Was it $1.60 in Smith Falls?
Yeah.
$1.60 in Smith Falls, but I think that would have made it to almost $1 in America.
Yep.
So
yeah, I guess gas was cheap to us in the States.
Yeah.
After the conversion. Yeah. It's quite interesting, actually. What places did we go to immediately? Oh yeah, first stop went to Walmart.
We had to.
We had to go to Walmart. We wanted to see like what the hype was about in like in Walmart US, because we hear so much like outlandish stuff. Like
we did not see a gun section.
No, there was no gun section.
Yeah, I full on expected there to be like a toys aisle, like your Roblox setup toys and Barbie toys, and then like here's your AKs and your shotguns and all that. It's like kids section, adult section. It's all toys.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but like way back in the day in Walmart, remember like when Walmart sold fish, like fishes, like live, like pet fish?
I do not.
Really? Dang, I remember like when I was young, like maybe like anywhere from 4 to like maybe 6 or 7, maybe 6. But they had an aisle, like a small pet aisle.
This is when you're in the GTA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
that makes sense then. Okay, yeah. But now they don't sell pets anymore.
Thank God for that.
I was kind of expecting that in the U.S., but
Apparently
everything's kind of weird. Like the second we crossed the border, everything seemed exactly the same. But as we got closer and closer to Watertown, I noticed the signs for like the road signs and all that stuff. It was slightly bigger, and the writing on them or the symbols on them were bigger as well, like ever so slightly. I'm like, is it just me, or like is everything slightly bigger? You know, can you all not see or something? I don't know.
I did appreciate the way they put all their lights on that, like the lines going across the interstate instead of I'm not using the right words. Intersection.
Yeah.
They got a line going above it, so all the lights are there and all the signs telling you which lanes do which turns. Yeah. Way easier than like here where they're all on the roads, and in the winter you're just like, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Because in the winter we can't see
any of those
arrows, especially like after heavy snowfall. You're pretty much just guessing. Like even on like the county roads and stuff here, after heavy snowfall, you're pretty much just playing the guessing game as to where your freaking like lane is.
It's every Canadian's favorite game. Like, is this a road or is it a field?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it just like we literally just went to the States to do the most mundane stuff. Like we were looking at all this other stuff. Like, wow, there's a Crackle Barrel. Yeah, and then we went to Baskin Robbins. Man, we should have went to the Olive Garden.
We should have.
Yeah, we should have went to the Olive Garden.
If there's any American here, they must be like either yelling at us, being like, "Why the hell would you go there when you could have gone to Olive Garden?" Or they're on the other side of it, going, "What's wrong with Baskin Robbins?
Right,
it's good."
Yeah,
I did notice everybody else was cutting their burgers in half, and we were like just eating it like a sandwich.
Damn, are we like
savages?
Dang, I didn't even notice that. Was people actually doing like we're cutting their?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the one guy that was serving us because our service was fast. Like, we sat down, like we went in, they got us a table, we sat down, took our orders, got us our food at a relatively decent time. But there's a family next to us. They're there, but I'm pretty sure were they there before us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely there before us, and they were waiting for like forever,
twice as long. At least.
And then the waiter came by, and then like he was like getting there because you went to the washroom, but he had like the plate of like a lot of food, and like he didn't notice that one of the sauces was spilling and spilled sauce everywhere all over the one chick. And he felt so bad. He's like, oh, sorry, like this one's on us, and like we're gonna pay for this, and like send us your dry cleaning bill. I'm like, dang, he feels like shit right now. Like, I don't know. Maybe the place was busy. Again, like everywhere looked busy.
Oh yeah.
And today's Saturday.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. But yeah, definitely a last second last second trip, and like right before that, we were talking about like being spontaneous and stuff. That wasn't really. I don't even know if I count that as spontaneous. I mean, it is like the decision making is, but like, I mean, all we did was just drive an hour like across the states. Like,
Yeah. Well, I think it was an experiment. We got there. We know how to do it now, and it's pretty easy.
oh, it's a lot easier than I thought it was.
I mean, like, well, we almost ended up going to the New York Zoo because apparently that was just like a little closer, but then it downpoured. So.
Started downpouring, yeah.
The shout out to that Snapchat AI. So it was just texting like, what is there to do around here?
I had no idea that was a thing.
That's like all I use him for is just like what's around here, and he just tells me what's up. I asked him like, okay, what about indoor stuff? And he's like, oh, there's the mall. So we ended up there, and the mall was pretty cool because like our mall's just shopping, that's all it is. But there they had a VR escape rooms and bouncy castles for kids. There's like activities to do inside the mall.
Yeah, actual activities like there was a axe throwing pit thing. There was the bouncy castle place thing. So yeah, it must be cheaper for you to own a store or to put a store in a mall than it is here in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine like even in the Toronto and the bigger malls, I don't see stuff like activities to do. It's always just commercial shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot this couch was leather, so all yours just like just the crinkling of the leather.
I'm sure they can see this in the wide shot, but
oh yeah.
You gotta give that a listen.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna snip that out so that people get a little taste of what that sounds like.
Good.
A little sample.
New intro. Vocal cords exposed.
Yeah, vocal cords exposed. You just hear the cat purring in the background. Yeah. Yeah, because like, I mean, the cat must get bummed out, when you leave.
Yeah, it's I feel bad. I don't know what to say about that.
Do you spend more time, like, right before you, like, leading up to the point that you're leaving? Do you, like, kind of...
No, I kind of like to shock her with, like, the surprise I'm not here for 6 weeks when I go to work. Like...
Damn!
I don't know what else to do because, like, the dog's anxious because it knows everybody leaves. The cat kind of is not as anxious because I don't make... Like, I think if you make a big deal, I read this, so I don't know if it's true or not, because I have no idea where I read it. If you make, like, a big deal, be like, okay, we're going, we'll be back soon. Like,
right.
the dog doesn't know you're saying you'll be back soon. All he knows is that you're leaving, and you're making a big deal about it. So it's like, are you coming back? Like, what's the deal? So I try to just, like, leave and just be like, yeah, I'll be back. And I think at this point she's used to the fact that I could be gone to work for 6 weeks, but I'll be back. And
yeah, because I think in animals, their perception of time is different, too.
Oh, yeah. They're much shorter lifespans. So that was like, I feel like a day I leave must feel like a few days to her.
Oh, 100%. I'm pretty sure actually I read something about that. Like for dogs, at least, like you're gone for 8 hours. To them, it's like a day or like a full day or two. Yeah.
No wonder they're so excited.
Yeah. You're like, dang, you were gone forever. Why'd you leave?
Yeah. Well, someone I know has got a camera pointed out there in their bedroom so they can watch their dog when they're gone.
Right.
And I was watching the feed, and it beeps every time the dog moves, and every time it was just the dog moving to a different position on the bed. Just like, oh, he's so cute, but also like it was very sad to see that all the dog's doing when it's gone is laying on the bed. The Secret Life of Pets really did not do dogs justice there.
Yeah.
They definitely were a lot lazier than that movie made it out to be.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I feel bad for it, but also, like, what are you going to do? Dog daycare, I guess, is a thing, and that's good during the day, but nobody does, I don't think anybody does a nighttime dog daycare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, eh? Dang. I mean, if there was a thing, I guess, you could probably make a lot of money if you started a dog daycare,
Nobody take this. This is
our idea. We're gonna patent it. Don't take it.
TM or whatever
TM copyright.
Copyright restriction. This is our intellectual property.
Yeah.
We'll do it one day.
Yeah, one day, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. As for Nick, obviously he's in Toronto or Brampton. It'd be nice to get him on the podcast more frequently, but we just all live further apart. And Simon, eventually, he's moving away. Aren't you, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of sick of you.
Yeah, I get sick of myself too.
Oh, now I'm sad. I'll have a little drinky poo. That's better.
What was the process of that job? You don't have to get into the details if you don't want to, but
yeah, I'm not gonna get too into it. But yeah, the job had like a security clearance, so I had to like name everybody I've been associated with or lived with over the last like years. So like I'm going way back to like every job I've ever had. They wanted information, so there's like little jobs that I can't even remember. It's like I worked here for a few days to cover for someone. And like I have no idea how to get a hold of some of these people.
Right.
I worked at that co-op I had in high school for construction.
Oh, yep.
I ended up working after co-op hours with them. I got no idea what any of their names are, and the construction company is like no longer a thing. So I was trying to track it down, and eventually just like left it out. I'm like, yeah, if I couldn't find it, hopefully people doing the background check couldn't.
Oh, jeez.
Every country I went to, I was putting like dates and birthdays, and I got to be honest with you, like so many people that I like spend time with, and that's what they say they want, but I think it's just like they can't possibly want every single person otherwise.
That's true. Yeah.
Like it's just impossible. So I just stuck with anybody I had like pictures of on my Instagram or had their contact information, which turned out to be a lot. But it was kind of awkward messaging some of these people I haven't seen in like a year or two, and probably won't ever see again. I'm like, hey, when's your birthday? Just curious. Yeah, what's the year? Like, when were you born? How old are you? All right, thank you. I just had to tell them, like, it's security clearance stuff, so. Yeah. I don't think anybody was contacted except for you as a personal reference.
I feel flattered by that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird. I mean, it wasn't weird. It was just, like, I felt so pressured during the phone interview.
Well.
It's like, how do you know him? I was like, oh, high school. I mean, like, the dude kind of showed up, like, after 5 years or so, but after high school. And asking all these questions. How are you as a person? What's your personality traits? All that fun stuff. It wasn't really hard to answer. I just want to make sure I was like as honest as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah. He's like, yeah, no, Simon gives off this flatline persona.
I'm very blunt.
Yeah.
But not speech while I'm not telling people how it is. I'm just
flat
effect. I think they call
flat
it.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the funniest part about that was they asked me if I've ever done any drugs, illegal or otherwise, and I'm sorry, cover your kids' ears. I did smoke weed once or twice, and the literal number it must be twice.
Oh.
Before it became legal. Like that's how much I'm a bad person.
Naughty.
Okay.
I said naughty.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I heard that from my priest. I repented. But yeah, they're like, what's the worst thing you ever did on drugs or on alcohol? And I think I had to write the worst thing I've ever done while under the influence of drugs is eat 20 chocolate Timbits and puke in my bed. And like, that's just the vibe for weed. That's you get the munchies, you didn't bring the right food. They didn't mention anything about that again. On alcohol, I had to tell that whole story about me going for like a run in January in a snowstorm at 3 a.m. when it was freezing to like get home. That's a very long story and not for the podcast, but that's
I
the
think I
gist
know
of
which.
it.
I think I know. I think I remember which one you're talking about.
Yeah, but the gist of it was like the worst part of it was doing a 3 a.m. run in the freezing cold in wet jeans and a t-shirt. So good times.
That's why the wet. It's why.
Yeah.
It's not a story for the podcast, but that's just why your t-shirt and jeans were wet.
Yeah. Owen Sound can be a wild place. Shout out to Owen Sound. Lovely town.
Yeah.
There's gonna be. I'm not used to holding the microphone, but I feel the shout outs are necessary. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
shout
no,
out absolutely everything.
shout out people and stuff.
Shout out to Obama. You did a job. You didn't destroy the country. Shout out.
I don't even know if I have any people to shout out.
Pick someone famous. Quick, 1, 2, 3, go.
Ryan Reynolds, he's Canadian.
Oh yeah. Damn. Can I change mine?
No.
Oh.
No, you're good though, because you went to the States. So I think that gets you clearance to shout out Obama.
Yeah, I also do say thanks, Obama, but it's usually whenever something bad happens in my life, like I stub my toe. Thanks, Obama.
What?
I don't know. I gotta blame somebody. So shout out to him for, taking the blame. He's been a good scapegoat in my life.
If he sees this, he'll just send you a message like it. That's it.
You ever see the video he did of the cookie jar and he tries to dip the cookie in milk?
I've never seen that. Wait, what?
Yeah, I swear. It's either he can't get the cookie out of the jar or he goes to dip the cookie in milk, but the cookie's bigger than the cup. So he just puts the cookie down like, oh, thanks, Obama. I swear it's a thing.
Oh, so Obama said thanks, Obama?
Yeah. I swear it's real or I'm not quite right in the head.
I'm gonna search that video after this.
I recommend everybody does it.
If you can't find the video, people,
just know that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find Simon Star on Instagram and then DM him and say I couldn't find the video. You lied.
Yeah. I'll take the blame.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Anything else going on? Anything else? Any events?
I quit my job, so there's that.
Oh yeah. See, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that because I didn't know if it was a sensitive topic or not.
It's. Well, I wasn't fired. Literally yesterday, they emailed me again, asking me okay, yeah. So, are you still taking that leave of absence and coming back? Or are you coming back on time? I'm like, what do you mean? Am I still going to take it? I did take it. I told you I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I got it in email. This is what I'm doing. But it sounds like they're emailing me hey, we expect you to be back on time. I'm like, no. So
the audacity.
Yeah. It was after I quit. They full on called me, wanted to know everything that was going on to try and get me to just take a leave of absence. But now they want me to either get I can either take an educational or a medical leave of absence. And no offense to I'm not telling a corporation like that my medical issues. That's not happening.
No.
And for educational, they need a course outline and educational plan. It's literally just me. I've got a bunch of textbooks in the corner and I got to study them to get a better license.
Dang. So, without naming names or anybody, what was the chat, the WhatsApp group chat was blowing up, man. It got to the point where I would mention to my boss the odd thing that's happened with you, and I got so invested. They're like, "What's going on today?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't remember if I named the company before, so I don't want to say too much about the situation on the boat, but basically they traded a boat with a European cement trading company, and the boat was not in great condition, and they did a lot to it to repair it. I'll give them that, but it was like a Band-Aid job. They're spending extraordinary amounts of money just to keep the thing operational instead of making it better or fixing it properly.
Yeah.
So we could all kind of tell by the end of the year. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to go to dry dock. We're going to refit the entire boat. It'll be good as new. But everybody on the boat was like, we haven't got one email asking us to fill out forms or give equipment lists and stuff to prepare ourselves for the dry dock, because they need a list of all the jobs they're going to do, all the equipment they need, all the spares parts they need. We never got any of that, but the company's blatantly just telling us yep, you're going at the end of the year, instead of telling us oh, by the way, this boat's probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
But we're going to, like, even if they just sent an email saying, we're going to do our best to make sure you have a position, they didn't do that. They just kept going, oh, as far as we know, you're going to dry dock. I'm like, no, we're not. There's nothing been prepared. And on top of that, none of us who, like, know the situation want to go because we don't think that ship would make it.
Shit. What's the process? What is the process that it has to get to scrap a boat?
Oh, I couldn't really tell you that.
Like, I mean, how old does it have to be? Because I know boats obviously last way longer than, like...
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, variables because basically every 5 years it has to go to dry dock. But you got, like, 2 extensions on that 5-year period, so I think it can go up to, like, 7 years before it goes to dry dock. But, like, we got boats that are sailing from World War II that are still, like, they just retrofit them and repair them. And we got other boats, like this one, I think it was only from 2010 or 2012, and it's already in a position where it's just was so badly taken care of.
Oh, it was
like,
abused.
Yeah, it's almost not worth paying to fix it up. But so, yeah, it's I couldn't say much from the office standpoint because they're the ones with all the numbers and the statistics on it, and they know what's going on and how much money it's making. I got no clue. All I know is everything was breaking down almost every day. Like, there was never a day where we didn't have an issue with something.
Jeez.
And some of it was like major safety problems, and again, the company did a good job of, like, when there's a safety issue or more often than not a shutdown of the equipment, they got that thing fixed the very next day. But they'd often wait for it to become a major issue instead of fixing it beforehand because it wasn't in the budget.
Dang, dude.
So that was only a small problem there, really.
I think a lot of companies are like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority of the... I'd say like 80% of the companies like that for sure.
Yeah. It kind of felt like they're, like, giving us a red pen. They're like, all right, we want you to draw a green line with this red pen. And we're like, we can't do that. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how to even describe to you that what you're asking for is not realistic.
Right.
But hey, we still do it, apparently. So, I mean, I guess it is. It's just one of us quit. One of us had a mental breakdown of some sort. So, like, 2 people were, like, taken off the boat because they weren't dealing with the stress appropriately. And at that point, like, I was on the, like, same page. I'm like, okay, like, I need to go because I'm not dealing with the stress appropriately.
Yeah.
You're working 6 and 6 too. Like, 6 hours on, 6 hours off is not healthy, especially when you're doing it 42 days straight.
Wait, 6 on and 6 off?
Yeah, like, I work 6 hours on, then I have 6 hours off to sleep, and then 6 hours to work, 6 hours to sleep, making it 12 hours a day, plus all the overtime you have to put in because everything's breaking down. And you do that for 42 days, you're, like, not okay after, like, the second week.
Fuck. When you get home, you must crash hard.
Oh, yeah, like, there's 2 days of, like, I'm just in bed sleeping. That's just all I do.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so, no, and I can't take my medication, right, because that keeps me awake 12 hours.
Dang.
So I wasn't taking that, and every time I talked to someone about it, their suggestion was, what was it? 2 of them were like, you got to eat garlic. They're like, yeah, because they believe, what was it? One of them told me, kind of a conspiracy theorist. I kind of like, I agree with him to some extent, but he's like, oh yeah, the country's trying to kill you. That's why they push medicine instead of natural remedies. But he's also like an anti-vaxxer.
Okay.
Like, and at that point, it's like, how do you pull up statistics? Like, you know, there's like less child deaths than ever before.
Right.
Just because of vaccines and the hospitals. Yeah. But they're like, no, abandon Western medicine. Eat garlic for your issues, and that'll fix everything. And I'm looking at them like, are you crazy?
Yeah, like, I think the thing is with, like, stuff like when people say, like, eat garlic or, you know, put onions on your feet or something. The thing is, it probably has garlic and whatever. Probably has the same thing that medicinal medication probably has, or like stuff like that. But it's such a small amount, you know. So he's probably right. Like, eat garlic because it probably has whatever's in it, but not to an extent of what you would find in medication, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think that's true, but I think also that they just can't put their feet in someone else's shoes who's actually got, like, an illness and needs medication. Yeah. To them, they're like, oh, I used to feel bad, but then I drank water, found out I was just dehydrated. Drink more water and you'll be fine. You're looking at them like, Man, if it was that easy, I would have done it a long time ago. Like, trust me, I tried.
Like chugging water.
Yeah, I'm like, I drink more water than anyone. I'm like, garlic, love garlic. Yeah. I'm just like, at this point, you're just sort of getting the same advice you get from all the older guys. They just don't understand what's going on, and that's not on them at all. It's their life experience. So
yeah, that's true, because everyone's life experience is different. What they go through is different.
Yeah, so I can't blame him. He genuinely thought he was helping. But when I'm like off my medication, working 6 hours on, 6 hours off, telling me that the government's trying to kill me to reduce population, and that I just need to eat garlic to fix myself, I'm like, look, that's probably not the thing I needed to hear. When I'm starting to get anxiety for the first time since, like, really ever. Like, I've had anxiety attacks at times when it's appropriate.
Yeah,
it's an appropriate situation to have anxiety.
Yeah.
But, like, this time, it's like, this is not an appropriate, like, there's no reason I should have this, and it's just because the medication's not there.
Yeah. I mean, I've been getting anxiety attacks recently, too, and I would never get anxiety attacks before, or like you said, in situations where it makes sense to get an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
But now, recently, in the last year, I would get anxiety attacks just out of nowhere, or, like, it'd be, like, something that small triggers my anxiety, and I'm sitting there like, oh, dang, like, I'm about to have an anxiety attack, which I didn't have before, but now it's more recent. I don't even know why either. Like, it's like, maybe it's from working a lot, and like I think because I've worked so much in the past, like it's just building up, and now my body's like, you can't do this anymore, and then now I'm starting to crash. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, I don't know. Yeah, the human mind is fucking. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, your camera just did a blinky thing. I don't know if that means it stopped working.
Yeah, I just got to, just 1 sec.
Maintenance hour with Nathan Kirk.
But I'm just going to quickly restart the cameras because they're on a 28-minute and 29-second timer, which is annoying. Yeah. Luckily, the iPhone keeps going, so that's
okay. Well, I figure we're just cutting this out. Yeah, there's like some parts of that, like the unemployment story that I'm like, I really can't like talk. I don't want to talk badly about this company because I may come back. They're not, like you said, it's just every company's like that.
Yeah, well, every company's like that, to be honest. And like, it's not necessarily you're talking bad about the company. It's just a lot of companies just have poor ways of running. And honestly, it's like, every company needs ways to improve. Yeah. And honestly, do you find yourself even considering on going back?
Yeah, I actually do consider going back, and I think I will eventually because they do pay good, but it really is selling your soul. Like a joke we say on board is the difference between a prisoner and a sailor is that the sailor didn't do the crime. Like we're both like locked up.
Yeah, because I know like before you would mention is like it's like selling your soul because that's something I was kind of looking into, and I mean it is good money. Like, but yeah, I don't think like if you're definitely thinking of going back, it's like it's not necessarily talking bad about the company. Like, companies have their flaws in general. Every company does. I think you just got to a point where, and I think we talked about this before. You probably left high school, went straight to college or university, dove headfirst into it, and like, sure, you had moments where it felt like you were processing all of it, but it's like when you do that so quickly for, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you're at this point now, it's like, have you really processed it all? Have you really had time to really think about it? How fast you went into the career, Like, I think this is good. You have this break, take a good break, do something else like what you're doing. In October, I think you said you're leaving.
Yeah. So 2 months off.
Yeah, so you're gonna have this nice break, try something new, and if you want to come back to the company, you can. So, I think it's good to step away, and I would recommend this to everybody. if you have to step away from a job or a company to really process something or what you really want to do, especially for young people in their 20s, do it. Like, it's not necessarily you have something bad against the company itself. It's just because you want to try something new or try something different to really see if you processed, the last 2 or 3 years or however long you're at that current job that you're at. There's this misconception that you need to figure out what you want to do right out of high school and figure out, who you should be right out of high school. And that's a tough decision for somebody really young and somebody in their 20s. Oh, yeah. And even I struggled with that. I'm still kind of struggling with that, but like honestly, a lot of people talk to me about like, hey, like you're in your 20s. Sure, you're in your mid 20s. Your 20s is actually just a test decade, essentially. Try as many things as possible. If you're gonna fail hard. Make sure that when you do try something, try it. Actually, put effort into it. That way you can determine whether you want to do it or not. So, I mean, I work at a lawn care business. Like, it's a big franchise, and it's great. They treated me fairly. I have no complaints about it, but, I'm getting tired. Like, and I hear all these older people like, what do you mean you're tired? Like, you're young, you're 25, you're still a kid, technically. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I worked a lot in my lifetime. A lot of hours. Yeah. Hours that a lot of people can't even begin to comprehend. Spent a lot of time away from my family and stuff like that. And, like, at just 25, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm ready to change things up. Maybe settle down a bit. Focus on my health, which I never did. Always neglected it constantly. Yeah. Which is, of course, like, again, on me. But...
yeah, now it's catching up to you. And...
yeah. So... yeah, I'm just tired. So even though with the company I'm working with now, they are nice, they treat me fairly. It's just like I don't know how long I'm gonna be there, and I don't know if I want to move forward with being there because I kind of want to just change it up for the sake of my well-being and my son's well-being because I don't want to be 35 and 45 and like I'm practically almost crippled and just dying from exhaustion.
This got depressing.
I'm sorry. I don't know. It is something that needs to be talked about, though, because a lot of people go through it.
Yeah.
A lot of people my age and our age.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to say like I'm privileged because I feel like, it's like when, what's that? It's again, a completely tangent. Sure. But like they had people playing Monopoly, but they gave some people like extra money to start with and gave other people less money.
Yes.
And then people with extra money didn't think like it helped them win the game. Yeah. They're like, oh no, it's just like a little extra money. It didn't like really change things.
Yeah.
And then there's people with less money and they're like, oh no, it's the reason I lost is 100% because they got extra money at the start.
Right, because it's also it's like half perspective and it's also like
that's why you got like rich people going, pull up your bootstraps, like just work hard like I did, and it's like you get like a lot of benefits. So I'm like hesitant to call my thing a privilege because I know I worked really hard for it, but like I know I have like the privilege of just quitting my job and like taking time off, and then like I can just go back to it because my job's so in demand, and like literally anybody, I can't say anybody could do this job, but anybody who wants to be a marine engineer or marine navigator would have immediate job security and immediate jobs. Like I was hired. I can't say I was hired. I went to work an hour or two after I got my license, like literally wrote it at Transport Canada. Went to lay down in bed thinking like for the first time since high school, I'm done like work and I don't got anything to do. Got the call and it's like, hey, we heard you were writing a license today. Did you get it? I'm like, yeah, I passed. Like, great. Can you come on this boat tomorrow at this time? Like You're right kidding. Away. I was like, all right, packing up, ready to go to work.
That fast?
Oh yeah. And then I was like making fucking like good money as soon as I got my license. And that's just what the industry's like. Like they're crying for people, but the lifestyle sucks so bad.
See, that's why, because you were explaining all this to me many times, so it's like, I always have to keep thinking to myself, like, it's probably just, like, the lifestyle's hard, the work is probably hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you willing to, because depending on the schedule, you said it could be months on, months off, or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
So if you want to fight for that, if you want that type of lifestyle, it could be beneficial depending on what type of life you have. It'll be harder if you have a family. It'll be harder to build a family with that type of lifestyle. But in my situation, because I work 7 to 6 days a week, I've worked 6 days a week constantly, and that's another reason why I'm burnt out. But I chose that. Like, there are times where I had the choice to just only work 5 days a week, but like, money is money. You know what I mean? Especially in my situation. COVID happened. I didn't do my taxes for a while, which is my own fault. I kind of prolonged that, but at the same time, it's like I had so much stuff going on, and I finally just got the chance this year to get things organized and financially organized and get documents organized, which is great because I would procrastinate on that stuff for a long time. But money is money, and when you have a chance to get extra money nowadays, you better take it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to ask yourself if that's the type of lifestyle you want to live, and if you want money, then I'd go for it.
Yeah. No. So they call it like the toxic grind culture. You always got to be on your grind or make money off something. And to some extent, like, I agree with you. It is toxic to constantly be feeling like you need to work, and it kind of feels like you lost to capitalism. Like, you're full on buying into it. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you kind of need to make a living. Like, you kind of need to be able to afford food and stuff. And I'm not going to make this like a political podcast, but communism for life. No, I'm not a communist, I swear. I just like free stuff.
We all like free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff's good.
What is your standpoint? Because I was training somebody Friday at work, and he's like, man, like, I can't wrap my head around this thought of like working at the same, like, mundane rinky-dink job, whether it's a warehouse job or something like that, or like, it's like I can't imagine working like that for 30, 40, 50 years of your life to get maybe 10 years of retirement and then you just die,
Yeah.
I can't. That stuff, that is actually one of the things that haunt me that night.
Yeah. Well, I think it was haunting me at like a very young age, which is why I did what I did. I was like, all right, asking all the adults around me, like, how do I like get rich? And they're like, do this, do this, do this. I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, I ask a bunch of people what they did. And I'm like, this is where I was like privileged to be around a bunch of older people who knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what circumstances aligned that I'd actually listen to them. Mm. But, getting all this advice from people and be like, all right, I'll take a little bit of that, take a little bit of that.
Okay.
Like, if somebody's giving me advice and I don't like the way they live their life, I'm like, I'm not going to take your advice. Right. Sometimes it's a good cautionary tale. But that's literally how I learned about marine engineering and went there. And then I listened to the guys there and they're telling me what to do. And unfortunately, as soon as you get into the industry, most of them tell you to quit. Like, right away.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, right off the bat, they're like, yeah, we're struggling for people. The companies are like, it's a great time. You're going to love it. And then you get on the boats and immediately...
People are miserable.
They're like, you're young. It's not too late. Get off of here. Like, that's the legit vibe you get. Both hands on the shoulder, like... just dead in the eyes, got that 1,000-yard stare, like, it's not too late, you can leave.
You can see, like, right into their freaking soul.
Oh, yeah.
Looking into your soul.
And then the companies are there going, like, oh, we need to spread more awareness. Like, there's a whole marine youth group, which you can also find on Instagram. It's got, like, 30 followers or something. It's kind of...
Marine youth group? Like, is it, like...
Yeah, it's like...
like therapy?
No, it's, like, just to try and get the youth interested in the marine industry.
Oh.
Yeah,
my ass thought it was fucking therapy. I'm like, how bad is this?
I wish it was therapy. We could use some therapy.
Yeah.
But if they gave us therapy, we probably wouldn't work there.
Probably.
Yeah, I want to like find out what that program's called.
Yeah.
It's because all the companies and the government of Canada got all these organizations together to try and figure out how to make young people interested in the job.
Right.
And like I'm there like going, this is kind of a waste of time. Like enough young people I think know about it. The class starts off with like 32 people. My class did.
Okay.
In the end of it, there was like 5 of us who went all the way through to get like all the exemptions and everything. but I think a little less than half of us actually graduated on time, and maybe half of us graduated in total. Like it took us like a few extra years. So like lots of people know about it and they're joining the program. It's just lots of them quit because they go on their first, like either the first few days they think like this is way too tough. Like you're deep diving us right into marine engineering theory, like thermodynamics, math, stuff like that. It's like, especially if you haven't been to school since like high school and you're 30 years old or something.
I don't even think I'm smart enough to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what a lot of people think, because I know I thought that. I remember going up to the teacher. I was like trying to hold back tears. I'm like, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, just stick with it. Like, there's a learning curve. It'll eventually start making sense as you just hear the words. That's all we're trying to do right now is get you used to the language. Damn. I'm like, okay. As I'm failing like everything.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, shit, I'm wasting all my money going to this course.
Was there a moment where you, like, it clicked?
No, there was never a eureka moment. It was just a bunch of little moments where I'm like, oh, this is actually starting to make sense. Like, just a lot of little moments where I'm like, all right, I got that question right, or I was able to do that math problem.
I think what I would do is if I were to do a course like that, there's no way I'm going to because I can't get the funding for it because it's expensive as fuck. I would just pre-study a lot, find all the books, read a shit ton, watch every video I could find, and then go into it. You know what I mean? But then again, that's just me because like I have this weird like preparation personality, like where I feel like, oh, I'm about to do this one thing, and I start pre-prepping for it.
Honestly, I think the same thing, but like I got a bunch of textbooks over there, and you can start reading it, and you're gonna be bored as you read about hydrocarbon paraphanes for fuel cracking. Like that's part of marine engineers, just learning about how fuels process, learning about iron ore processing, and you'll be reading all these things like, when is this ever going to be important? And it's just so boring.
Yeah, because one day you told me that when it comes to metals and stuff, studying about different metals, it's like an endless, like you can
spend your whole life studying metals. You'll never know all of it. Like metallurgy is such a, like it's been developed for thousands of years, like since the Bronze Age. People traveling around the world teaching different ways to process these metals, and eventually people just gain more and more knowledge to learn how to make more and more complicated things. And now, we're still discovering new materials that we can use. So,
jeez,
I've been told you can choose like one specific topic and basically go your whole life making a career out of studying that part of metallurgy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, like even with the marine engineering degree, you said there's people that take that and to go off anywhere with it.
Oh yeah, like I know somebody who installs dental equipment with it.
Which makes sense because like
it's just pumps.
It's just pumps.
Yeah, and that's a lot of like. I had a Russian teacher, and all he would say in classes, "Ship is pump." And it moves from one thing to another thing. He's like, everything is a pump.
Ship is pump.
Yeah, that was his saying. Everything is pump. But he'd also say like, but why? Like you'd answer a question, you'd be like, the answer is 36. And like, but why? I don't know why. See, you don't know what you're talking about.
Damn.
He's like, you got the answer right, but you don't know.
Yo, just calling people out on their knowledge.
Oh, yeah. But no, it was good because now your engine starts making a funny sound. And like it's just drilled into my head. But why?
It's just like that same guy is like a ghost hovering like on your right shoulder or something. But why?
That's great. Like, that's most of what the marine engineering job is just asking, okay, why isn't this thing working? And like it amazes me how many times I forget to ask that question. Like there'll just be water leaking out of an air conditioner, and I'm like, guess we got to call an air technician or something, because I'm not an air technician vet tech, but like literally the chief engineer comes in and he goes, all right, see where the condensation hose is going, and I'm like looking at that and it's just pinched, and I'm like, oh, I really should have just asked but why. And like look at the hose that comes out the back, unpinched it, no more leaking.
Isn't that crazy how like a simple thing like that could just fix a problem?
Yeah.
Just ask yourself like, but why? Why is it doing that?
I love it when my favorite thing is like the mates will call us all the time. There's always like some like fighting between the two departments. You got engine and deck, and deck will call us for all kinds of silly things, and we'll always be like, "Oh yeah, call us. No, whatever it is, you're not bothering us. Just call us so we can fix it."
Right.
And then they call us for something dumb, and we can kind of like laugh a little bit at them, but like we're glad they called us.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times I've plugged something in for people, like, like they're like, "Oh yeah, the crane's not working," and I look at it, look at the controller that they're going like, "See, this button's not operating." And you first thing you do is you play with the emergency stop because they accidentally press it, and you just got to release it. And 9 times out of 10 that works, but this time it's not working. I'm like, oh, bet there's water and it's short circuiting it. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh no, not plugged in. There you go. I'm like, oh, it works. What did you do? You just saw me plug it in. Right?
Yeah. You should screw with them and it's going a long tangent. That's like something complicated. It's like
I did once. Like, what's wrong? There's a high resistance gas impeding current flow from the source voltage to the controller.
Jesus, speaking a completely different language right now.
Yeah, it just means that there's air, like it's not plugged in.
Jeez.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, the toilet won't flush. There's too much resistance from scale buildup upon the actuating arm of the plunger. It just means like there's scale on it. Like it's just hard water. Just shake it a little bit. It works. Dang. Yeah. There's little fun things like that.
Although having this type of knowledge though, you could probably get a lot of stuff as we know, because I don't know if I'll remember to add some footage in the podcast, but I'll add some footage in to what this basement looked like when you were tearing it apart.
Yeah.
But I bet all that stuff comes in handy.
Yeah. No, it like saves a lot of money, especially when people are like, oh, this microwave's broken, I'm gonna throw it out. And like you save yourself $100 easily by just changing one little fuse.
Yeah, fuse. Yeah. I learned that like a couple of years ago. 9 times out of 10, when your microwave goes, it's just a fuse, and you can pick that up at like a hardware store or any type of store. Like you look at the part number too. You can order on Amazon or whatever. Yeah.
So it's nice that they do tamper proof. I don't know how like in Canada the right to repair movement is going, but they used to put like tamper-proof things for our safety. So like the screw would have in the center of it
a little knob thing.
Yeah, a little extra nub of metal, so you couldn't stick a screwdriver in it.
Yeah.
Unless you got a drill and you drill a hole in your screwdriver to fit.
I did that. I did that once. Yeah, I was a savage, man. I just.
Screw.
And it's usually the nub is always on the Torx bits, like on the Torx heads, where it's a multiple star bit.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called. I think it's called a Torx head, but no. I didn't know that was still a thing. The tamper movement, or
right to repair movement.
Yeah, right to repair movement.
Yeah, because I think it worked out really well in Europe, where now they have the right to repair a lot of their equipment instead of replacing it, just as a way to fight global warming. But it's like with cell phones, you can change your battery, and it's like a brand new phone sometimes.
Yeah.
But now and that's why I loved Android for so long, because you can take your battery out.
Yeah.
And you'd have iPhone people going like, oh, that's so embarrassing, your battery falls out. Like, mine doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. How fast is yours now? Like,
yeah,
is
exactly.
It dying? Is it slow?
Exactly.
Like, I guess that was because Apple was purposely slowing down your iPhones.
Yeah.
But I think they made a lot of money off of it and then paid less than that.
I don't know the details of it. They apparently worked their way around it, saying that it wasn't the case, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There are some updates, man, that I got on now I have an older iPhone, but still there are some updates on it where like it slowed the shit out of the phone.
Oh yeah.
Like I could definitely notice it. There's some updates where it's faster and it improved some things. There's some updates where it slowed it right down. This is only in the past 6 months or so. But yeah, I don't know. It is good to, fix things yourself and have the right to fix things yourself to keep things going. Yeah, because global warming is a thing. Because on my old phone, the LG G5, you can replace the battery on it.
Yeah. I just pulled up here from the BBC News. In 2020, Apple agreed to pay $113 million to settle the allegations that it slowed down iPhones.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
I bet they made more money than that, though.
Oh,
Like,
they probably
they
did.
definitely
Man.
agreed
They
to pay
probably
less
did.
money than they made. But it's like Bell. I think they used to add $1 to everybody's bill because they like the amount of people who are going to call us about it is less than the amount of people who are going to like even notice it. So like first off, not a lot of people are going to notice it. Second, the amount of people who are going to call, most of them won't stay on the phone for the like long wait times. Then by the time we get to them, then we just got to fix like a few bills and like easily make a few extra $1 million.
Yeah.
And then like end up paying only $1 million in settlement, something like that.
Shit.
I didn't pull up the article for that one, but I did hear a lot about that before. But yeah, if you search up BBC, like iPhone sued for slowing, like pops up right away in the Google search.
Shit.
Yeah, that's why I kind of, I'm still resisting iPhone. Everybody around me is like, get an iPhone, it's better. Yeah. I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, the next phone I'm going to get is definitely going to be Android. The file system is garbage on iPhone. Yeah. You can't, I find it garbage at least. It's always hard to find shit. And like when people say, no, it's not, you're probably just using it wrong. Maybe I am, but when it comes to Android, it reads all my file types. Doesn't matter what SD card I'm using, what camera I'm using. It finds it, it reads it, tells me, what codec it is. iPhone is just like this never-ending battle of figuring out where it is. Like, is it going to be compatible? Will iPhone or will iPad read it? And if it doesn't, they have to download a special app to transcode it. Yeah. So that your editing software can edit it. So that's why I rock two phones. Like I have an Android and an iPhone because they both can do different things. I mean, I feel like Apple, they just dumbed down everything for people. Like everything seems too simple, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's extremely user friendly. Yeah, and I think some people need that because like, if you don't want to like take your time learning how to use the Android, then it's never going to be it's never going to work for you. Mm-hmm. And that's completely valid. You got other things to do in your life. Yeah. But and the security is just like undeniably the security on like a MacBook or an iPhone is better than it is on an Android. Way better. Android, I will give it that. You can download all kinds of third-party programs. Yep. For those third-party programs, like I'm not willing to give up that freedom to be able to do what I want with my phone. Yeah. Yep. And just to have better security. Like if I'm smart enough on my own, I can usually avoid getting a virus or something.
Exactly. And like Joseph, he's pro Apple, he's pro iPhone, but he hates Apple as a company. Yeah. And he's mentioned this many times, and it kind of makes sense. I don't know if you heard about these freaking. Shout out to Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD YouTube channel. I've been watching this guy for a long time because everything he reviews, all the phones he has reviews, they're great, accurate reviews because what he does is he tries out the physical phone for 2 weeks and then he makes a video about it. He gets a full rundown of the phone, what it feels like. He uses it as his personal phone for 2 weeks. That way he gets a feel for it. But yeah, he does other videos, random videos too, about buying wheels for the Mac, the iMac computers and stuff, which each wheel could cost upwards of like $600 or some shit. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. I think it's a set of wheels at $600, but still, it's like it was that high. Like I know it was like $600 some odd dollars for these wheels just for your iMac computer, just to have something to stand on. Yeah, and they're just wheels, just computer wheels. There's nothing fancy about it, but.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing is like every time I hear from like my family's mostly iPhone users, and so they all want me to do it because they're like, oh, but you can split screen on your phone, and what was the big one? The big one they like is FaceTiming. Like you can FaceTime. Like I don't know if that's like the only thing you have to video chat, but like I can video chat on all sorts of things. Like I don't know if FaceTime is different in any other way. Because as far
I think iPhone users and Apple users, they like to stay on one platform. Yeah. And then get mad at you when you don't have that one platform. It's like, I think Android was coming out with a form of FaceTime that it would be compatible with iPhone users. But I'm not sure how that would go about. And there's so many memes about that, how like, oh, it just wouldn't work, and if it did work, it'd be shit on Android, be all pixelated and shit.
Yeah.
But
It's like never as bad as they make it out to be.
no,
Because if you have like bad service on iPhone or Android, like in this house, me and my mom, she has an iPhone, I have Android.
yeah,
Neither of us get good service. What she tells me is like, oh, I can change my cell phone calling to Wi-Fi. I'm like, I can do that too.
yeah,
Sorta, more or less. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can do it for texting. I'm sure if I
Yeah.
looked into it, I'd find a way.
yeah,
But I got WhatsApp and I got Instagram. That's where
Yeah.
most of my chats are anyway.
yeah. I think with my phone at least, I think it does it automatically. Like if it knows I don't have, like, I don't know. I think for calling, maybe it's for texting, but yeah, if I don't have, like, I don't know, self service or whatever, but I have Wi-Fi, it switches it to Wi-Fi. Um,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
but-
say that might be the one argument maybe iPhone has over Android now that I think about it.
yeah,
Because I'm not sure my phone can do it. Probably can somehow, but
yeah,
yeah, just switch to another app.
yeah. I don't know.
If you wanna-
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. There's always a split side when it comes to pro Android, pro Apple, this that. I just want a phone that works.
I'd like them to make a phone that doesn't have like 5 cameras in the back of it because they're always like, oh, the cameras are what makes it so expensive now.
Yeah,
Like, well, then get rid of the cameras.
just make one massive camera on the back. You know, not even a massive camera, just one really good like camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who don't even, like for me, what the most nice photos I take is maybe of some food I made.
Yeah,
And like, I don't need it to be so crisp that you're
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm actually there, because nobody cares.
the thing that scares me is like phone cameras are just getting way too good.
Yeah.
You know, it takes away the photography of a camera. It takes away like obviously my camera, the LG G7, it's an older camera. I think it came out in 2016 or something like that. It's like an entry level mirrorless camera, but like there's phones out there that's way better than it in terms of capturing image. Like my brother's phone could capture 8K. My camera only goes up to 4K. But with that being said, you slap a really good crisp lens on my camera and you could tell the difference. So even if my brother's recording in 8K and mine's in 4K, you would probably, if you were looking the footage at side by side, you would choose my camera just because of the way that it looks. Because even though you could have an 8K camera on your phone, but there's bad 8K quality, if that makes sense. It's a Kodak of the of the 8K,
Yeah.
the quality of the 8K. And I think with my brother's phone with Samsung, I always complain about this with Samsung in general, and what they do with their image, they always oversaturate the greens. I
remember like
Yeah.
hearing about that because they want to make the nature look really
Yeah.
naturey. Didn't they also find out like they got AI, so whenever you focus on a white dot, it makes a fake picture of the moon?
of the moon. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if the guy was like freaking pulling our legs on that, because I seen a video about that, and like I'm not sure if it's true, but it makes sense because if you look at the sensor of the most expensive Samsung phone, it's so tiny. Yes, it has a lot of megapixels, but I don't think by zooming in that much you can capture really clean images of the moon. You know what I mean? I'm not sure.
I really don't know cameras, but what I do know is like I don't need to pay like an extra $300 on my phone to take 8K pictures of my like food and my dick, you know. Like
No, seriously, you're right.
Like, I don't know what everybody else uses their camera for, but I'm a bit of a degenerate. Like, maybe my glass of rum if it's looking extra crisp.
Yeah.
And, like, what do I do with that afterwards? I send it to maybe, like, the group chat of a few people who are going to look at it for a second and be like, oh, he's eating food. Or, why'd Simon send me that? I think that was meant for someone else. You dirty dog, you. Like, nobody's looking at my pictures for longer unless they're an obsessed stalker, in which case, like, you don't need to see this in 8K.
Yeah, no.
I get for you, like you actually make an art out of it, so it makes sense for you. You want a good quality, but the majority of us aren't artists. Even if we want to like pretend we are with their iPhones, like, oh, look at the way the sun glistens off that brick wall.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I've seen some pretty decent shots.
Yeah.
I mean, there are shots where I struggled to even know that it was an iPhone or a new Samsung and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because how they use it. You know, I'd watch these videos all the time. I forgot the YouTuber's name, but he's now high up there in these professional videos and stuff. And it's amazing because what he would do is he would get a professional filmmaker, videographer who's been in the game for a long time, and he would give him the cheaper camera, like maybe $150 to $300 camera, and he would get a beginner filmmaker, and it would give him a $80,000 camera, like an Aries Alexis or a Red camera, and then he would have them, film an entire scene or a short commercial. He would have them edit, color grade it, stuff like that. And the pro filmmaker, the rinky-dink shit camera, wins every single time, because at the end of the day, it's not about the gear you have; that's how you use it. It's how you manipulate it. So there's a lot of creators out there that use iPhones specifically, like just purely that's it, iPhones or just Samsung Galaxies, and I couldn't even tell they shot an entire commercial on it, and I wouldn't even be able to tell.
Yeah, it's like all those the actual phone commercials where like this was shot on an iPhone, and you're like, ooh, but at the end I'm like, oh okay, okay. And like, I know it was shot on an iPhone, but I don't possess those skills. So
yeah.
Bring down the price, put less cameras in it. Just give me the one.
Yeah,
I'm good. That's what I want from a phone now. I don't know if they'd make any money off of it because it's become such like they've brainwashed people into a status symbol.
Yeah,
like that's why sometimes you get girls who are like, "Oh my God, he's a 10, but he has an Android," and like I think that's the internet's kind of perpetuated that a little bit. Like, I don't know if that's a real thing that people face.
Yeah.
But,
it's definitely a
status symbol.
Yeah, I just want something that works, Yeah.
I
don't give a crap about my phone. Yeah, I'm going to actually upgrade my phone, someday. And I say someday like, oh, that's my dream.
Yeah.
I could do it right now if I actually wanted to. It's just, I don't have that urge to do it. Like, I can go on a plan and get myself the newest fancy phone and stuff like that, but I just don't feel the urge to do it because my phone works fine. It works fine. The phone I have, the iPhone 7, it was Joseph's old phone. And he said he could have got the bigger, at the time, the iPhone Plus or Plus Max or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But he likes the fact that it could fit in his hand, and like by using your thumb, you could reach all corners of the phone.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. And like he regret getting the phone that he has now because he can't do that because they came out with a phone afterwards that was like it has the same chip as his current phone, like it's just as powerful. It's just everything's condensed into a smaller phone.
Yeah. I feel guilty every time I buy a new phone.
Yeah.
Like I was looking to recycle all my old phones. I'm 24 years old. I'm like, I got 6 phones here.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's not that much. I know some people have like plans where they upgrade each year and the phone gets recycled to do something else. Mm-hmm. But like mine either broke or like it just got really slow.
Yeah.
And it was like there was a sale on and I could get a better deal on a data plan or something.
Right. Yeah.
And like every time, like I should just get the old one repaired, but I didn't. And again, with Android, it's nice because usually you change the battery, and I did that a few times. Mm-hmm. Now they won't let you change the battery because I think they figured out they make more money by.
Yep.
You have to go to a repair guy to get the battery changed. Yeah, because
even with Nicole's iPhone 6 that she had back in the day, you couldn't change the battery. I don't even think iPhone in general, you could change the battery in it.
No, I think that was their whole thing. It's you drop it, the battery doesn't fall out, losers.
Yeah, exactly. I replaced this woman's iPhone battery like 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. I replaced the battery twice and the screen 3 times.
Remember in like grade school when the iPhone was like, I don't know, the size of a small.
It was like a brick almost.
The size of it.
Yeah,
it was like
very tiny. It was like I think you're thinking of the iPhone 4. So Bailey, shout out to Bailey, but he had the iPhone 4 while everybody was onto the iPhone 5, iPhone 6. And this guy kept on with the iPhone 4, and remember, I don't know if you remember how big it was, like a 16 port charger that the iPhones had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Does anyone have an iPhone 4 charger?" And I was like, "Dude, no one has an iPhone 4 charger."
Go to the museum, buddy.
Yeah, go to the museum. I found my iPod. I found an iPod Nano that I had back in 2009, 2009 and 10, I do believe. It was an iPod Nano. The amount of footage that's on that iPod Nano of 11, 12-year-old me is nuts. And I think the iPhone crapped out, or maybe I just don't have the charger for it. Because I had a low, tiny charger for it, but I don't think it works right. It goes on, it turns on for a bit, then it shuts off. So maybe I'm just going to order an actual authentic 16-port iPhone charger. But the problem is, even if it does work, I have to go through a restoring process with Apple just to restore all that shit. It's so dumb. Why not? Why can't I just plug it in and all my shit be there? It's physically on there. So why the fuck do I have to restore it?
What does Apple have to restore? Like
Restoring Apple services. So I have to figure out what my old account was. I didn't even think I was 12. I didn't even think I made an account with Apple on a freaking iPod Nano.
Yeah. I mean, I thought making accounts was like a newer thing where like you need an account for absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And like I can't stand it. I'm like, well, I mean,
but
like,
I do know you have to plug it into a computer to do that. Like you have to plug in the 16 port to the freaking iPod Nano, then plug it in through a computer to do that shit. It's I guess it's a process. I'll just go to Apple to do it.
I guess that's a pro for Android, is you could just plug it in. It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
It might be corrupted. Just fix it.
Yeah, just literally just fix it. Like the amount of files
repair.
I'd plug into my old ass freaking LG G5. Amazing phone. I had nothing but LGs back in the day. And the amount of footage I would just use on different cameras, stuff like that, it'll be there. Yeah, the footage might be corrupted. Fuck it. Just like download a third-party transcoder, transcode that shit in like 30 seconds. Boom, the footage is there.
And like, I guess that's where people say like it's prone to viruses, because like, yeah, you can find bad third-party things, but if you look at the reviews and you see what's going on, you do like a Norton safe search thing. Because I think they've got a website where you just put in a website address,
right?
And it'll tell you what it is,
what the status is.
Yeah. They might have one that's got no information, and then you're like, all right, well, risk it for the biscuit, and then download an antivirus program for the free trial.
Yeah.
And make sure you delete your credit card information off that after you run a scan.
Shit, yeah, facts.
Yeah, I did that with Norton. I don't know if Norton's any good. I remember it used to be bad. So I don't know if they upped their game or not, but I tried it.
Yeah.
It said I had 0 viruses or anything, so then I went to remove the credit card information. It's like, we don't have your credit card on file. No, I'm screenshotting that one for when the bill comes in.
Yeah, no facts.
Like, hey, I don't know how you guys charged me. You said you don't have it on file. So, dang. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I think when we were like on the way up to the States there, I think I was mentioning like when companies fail, like, I think that's what, I was mentioning that's what kind of what makes them safer, depending on what company it is. It's like when PayPal crashed and like it got hacked and people lost so much money and stuff like that back when it first started becoming a thing. That's why PayPal is now the number one money holding app, and people put their accounts on it, their credit cards on it, because PayPal failed so bad. So they knew that they can't do that shit again.
Yeah,
because Elon Musk is a co-founder of I think he is a founder of PayPal.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he's the one who started it up and shit. But like when it failed that bad, like they knew that this shit can't happen again, and now it's one of the safest things that people can download.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, note to self, guys: fail. You'll be better for it. Just.
Yeah.
Not completely bad advice, actually.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not bad advice at all.
Yeah.
Today was eventful. Honestly, I honestly feel like I need to start doing this type of stuff more often, because I love routine, but unfortunately I'm so stuck in the same routine that over time I feel like a robot, and it feels like I'm not putting myself out there as much. But yeah, today was fun. Do you want to talk about the Karen ass incident?
Nah, I mean, we got yelled at a Karen. It was my fault, but
Yeah.
like, I'm just there going, "You okay? Like, what's going on?" It was just Karen coming up and yelling. Like, I felt so bad.
No, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
the
no, I get it.
brief description of what it was almost a road incident because we were in a blind intersection,
Yeah, so
and I thought it was four-way stop, but
yeah,
turns out it
so
wasn't.
so everyone who watched my content before, I used to deliver packages a lot. There's this tiny town called like Athens. It's in Ontario, so not Athens, Greece. I'm not that rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a little tiny town, and there is a what appears to be a four-way stop. There's Athens Main Street, and then there's like two side streets.
Know the whole thing, Mike.
Yeah.
We can get into the whole geography of it, but it's not.
I just want to feel validated here. Yeah. So this intersection, in my opinion, it should be a four-way stop just because how blind it is, and like back in those days, like in the late 1800s, 1900s, they would put houses like right on the freaking corner for some reason, like
just a cart track, right?
Yeah, probably, but like I don't know, it's just a blind intersection, and like with a whole bunch of sometimes they have cars parked on the side of the road too, which kind of blocks the view and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but like 3 people stopped at an intersection. I was the first one to stop, so I'm like, all right, 4-way stop. So I was gonna go.
Yeah.
We didn't see anybody, and apparently she had we had the red blinking light, and like everybody's got a red blinking light, I guess, because that's
right
what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing that too.
Yeah, the other side had an orange blinking light, so yeah, immediately like almost got in an accident, but shout out to her, I guess. Angry Karen, she maneuvered around me. Good for her.
Again, like of course, like you were in the wrong, but like, dang, this is how the incident was handled.
Oh yeah, no, we like pulled over at like the gas station just 50 meters up.
Yeah,
and she was like right away speeding to like be right on my tail. I'm like, all right, well, like I don't think any accident happened. I didn't see if she hit something else, but I'm like, if she did, I gotta like, take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
But instead. The most Karen looking person.
Well, yeah, because the second it happened, I was looking in the mirror the whole time, like, "Yo, she's following us. She's gonna yell at us, man."
Yeah, her and the guy behind her. The guy behind her also pulled over, but he's like, "Fuck, I don't want to get involved." As soon as he saw this woman come out, it's like, "You fucking idiot, pay attention." And I'm like, "Ma'am, I thought it was a 4-way stop. Are you okay?" Like I was.
Yeah, you're very apologetic. You're very sympathetic too. So.
Yeah, I don't think I even got the chance to say sorry. I was just like more worried, like, "Are you okay? Like you didn't get hurt." Like nobody's hurt. Like that's my first like thought. So I should have definitely like told him like, look, sorry, like that's on me. But all she wanted to do was like yell and be like, you idiot, you got to pay attention. You almost killed us. I'm like, I thought it was a 4-way stop. 3 other cars stopped on the other side except for hers, and I couldn't see hers because I mean I don't know how fast she was going, but
she was whipping, man. Zooming. She was zooming, dude.
Oh yeah.
And I know that street and like zooming on that place because like when I was delivering packages like. Yeah. When I first was driving in that town, I thought it was a 4-way stop too. It wasn't anything like that happened, but there's some close calls where like I would see a lot of cars just flying down that street. It's a 40 zone, but people are doing probably around 60.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so immediately like any part of me that felt bad for it just went away.
Yeah.
As soon as you started yelling, I'm like, I would feel bad.
Yeah, because
but.
Yeah, because I felt my anxiety creeping the moment I knew like, oh, she's tailing us, dude. Like she's gonna yell at us. I felt my anxiety creeping, but the moment, just the way she handled it, I started to like. I was holding back some minor laughter just because of how Karen it was.
Yeah, it was very stereotypical, especially for like the area.
The area, yeah, and I explained this too because nothing happens there. No one does anything with their lives. Yeah. So when something happens. They feel the need to just blow up out of the blue because it's like they're wanting it to happen. And again, shout out to this person. We do apologize, but damn, like you could have handled it a bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a right to be angry.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have been angry. But it's like in Brampton, it happens all the time. That kind of thing. Every time you go like, "What's this person doing, idiot?" It's like, but on the end, like, they're not an idiot. It's just it's hard to drive.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
In that area, and mistakes are bound to happen.
Yeah. Human error, man. Human error with driving, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Being mad makes sense, but like following the person tailgating, like as soon as I saw her like speed up, I'm like, okay, something bad. Like that was bad, and then I'm like, it's happening so fast. I'm not processing it, but I'm thinking the damages. I got to pull over in case she like pulled off to the side and like hit someone, God forbid.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first thing that went through my head. I thought.
Yeah.
I assumed everything was good because I looked over when I saw her managed to not hit me and just pull to the side.
Yeah.
I thought everything was good, but yeah, she just wanted to pull over to call me an idiot, and I'm like, sure, I did a dumb thing.
Yeah.
But like, immediately just did not feel bad for the whole situation, and I'm actually kind of glad she yelled at me. Otherwise, I'd be like worried about this for like weeks and weeks. Like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Right away, like I'm like, okay, you're not like a great person.
Yeah, she probably has some other shit going on too. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, yeah, no, man, I feel you because I did some dumb things too. Like not on purpose, obviously. People make mistakes while driving, and then, like if I cut someone off or if I there was someone in my blind spot which I didn't see. Obviously, you should be checking your blind spots. Like, shit happens while driving. Everybody does it. If you say that you're the best driver, the perfect driver, and that never has happened. You're lying. You know, I get it. There's people that hold a higher standard they are really good drivers.
Yeah.
They study all the time to be good drivers, but you know, shit's bound to happen. Like if you had your driver's license for at least 10 years, your full G license or whatever.
Yeah. You just get cocky eventually too. Like you go from being like 2 hands on the wheel to a burger in your hand and you're driving with the other hand.
Yeah.
Like you get cocky. I'm not advocating for that at all.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing that when this incident almost happened. I had both hands on the wheel going through an intersection, made a full stop.
He was paying attention the whole time.
Just not in the direction I was supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah.
I was looking where I was going, not where, other people were coming.
Yeah.
But
hey man, shit happens. Like it's
anger's justified, but like it was like you said, and it didn't hit me fully until later that she was like tailgating me right away, sped up, wanted to follow me. Right away. I don't know how far she would have followed me if I didn't pull over to the gas station.
Oh, just based on how quick she accelerated on you, she would have kept going. Like if we didn't go to the gas station when we went directly on County Road 5, she would have kept following you.
Oh yeah, no, right away. Like in the city, like this kind of incident happens all the time.
Yeah,
nobody thinks twice of it. Like they get mad, maybe flip you the bird. And then it's over with.
Exactly.
This woman actually wanted to follow me. I'm like, okay. Immediate thought was, okay, something happened. I need to like pull over, make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
No, I've never experienced a grown ass woman throwing a temper tantrum like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't work retail. I feel like that's important because I feel like anybody who works retail, it's like that's just what people are.
Yeah.
Like, I hear it all the time, but I've never experienced it. So this was my first Karen. So
I feel half bad calling her a Karen, but that was a Karen ass moment.
It was too perfect. The
it was way too perfect.
Walk, the everything. It was.
And, if she ever sees this and watches this, we are sorry, and you have a right to be mad. But come on, like, you could have not been so Karen like. That was just intense.
Yeah,
like even if you toned it down about half.
Yeah, like talk to me, ask me what's going on, like. Like I legit, like I opened up the door. I'm like, all right, I gotta talk to her and tell her what happened and make sure she's okay. Yeah. Maybe I gotta pay for something because she swerved and hit a sign and broke something, or maybe someone's actually hurt and they thought I was driving away. Like, tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I've done it. Like people like I had someone, like I said, like someone cut me off and like the guy rolled down his window to yell at me, but like even though he was in the wrong objectively, and I didn't want to start yelling. I was just like, hey dude, like just, it's okay, like, just be careful next time. And then you could tell he was about to yell at me, but then it immediately diffused whatever anger he had for some reason. He was like, oh okay, yeah, okay, sorry about that. I was like, no, you're good, just whatever, man, stuff happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't say I would act in that situation. Like, I've almost been killed a few times on the road.
Yeah.
From other people driving.
Yeah, I mean, there are times where I've been almost murdered, like, you know what I mean? Like, immediately murdered, like, no joke, was it Friday? Thursday, I was leaving the parking lot to work down the industrial road that we have, and a car, it was a vintage car, I don't know if it was an old Jaguar or something, it just pulled out of one of the side driveway things, right out in front of me. I slammed on the brakes, holding the horn, and the guy kept going, and he just looks and sees me last second, and I'm just like, like, you know what I mean? Like, what else could I do? I'm not going to get out of my car and, like, cause a freaking fight. I want to go home. Yeah. But it's like, how?
You never know, like, who's in the other car. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but when that first interaction happened, I'm like, okay, that was justified.
Yeah.
Like I deserve to be yelled at for that.
Yeah.
That was dumb. But then as I'm thinking about it, it's like, if you were in the city and you did that, like, there's a chance you could get shot.
Yeah, you
Man,
just
like,
can't get out of your car and yell at people like that.
Yeah, like I guess it's in Athens, like you said, nothing ever happens
Nothing
there.
ever happens there.
So something like that's like a big deal in her life.
And then when it does happen,
I feel bad it affected her. And
yeah.
she freaked out. But
oh man, she gonna talk about this for weeks. She's gonna go to work. I was almost killed by this guy.
Yeah, we're just
and then
gonna
she go on
Facebook.
Morons, I tell you.
Yeah, fucking idiot. Take these kids' license away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, we were just talking about it on a podcast, so I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Simon's a good driver, okay? Accidents happen, all right? Literally.
I've been vouched for. I'm innocent. I'm an innocent man. I actually, like, when you think about it, I've never been in an accident before in my life. I've got one speeding ticket.
I've been in an accident, but it was like, nobody else was involved. Yeah.
That's you're a silly goose.
Yeah.
Tilting a car.
And the thing is, like, I'm on the road a lot. Like, I probably spend 60% of my life on the road and, like, in a car or some sort of vehicle. Like, I do a lot of driving. Like,
you were delivering packages when that happened. So you're, like, what, 12 hours a day on the road?
Yeah, 12 hours of the day. Maybe even more, actually, because, like, I would get up around, like, 5 o'clock, get there, do some organizing and stuff. So, yeah, so it is probably around, like, 6 or 7 p.m. by the time that happened. Yeah, I'm on the road a lot. For those of you who don't know, my, in quotations, brand new car, 2021 Mazda 3 already has 174,000 kilometers on it. So, for all my American friends out there, do the math on that for what it is in mileage. But that's outrageous for a brand new car. Outrageous. So that's how much driving I do. And I'm actually proud of myself that I don't have any driving incidents with that many kilometers on the road constantly. But the variable for something to go wrong should be higher. I've hit a lot of deer, a bunch of animals on the road. And again, I don't do it on purpose. It's just I'm on the road. The percentage is just a lot higher. So, overall, just wrap it up. Accidents happen.
Be angry about it. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Justified. But definitely, you guys don't run up to cars. I could be an evil person. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Hey, even the people at the gas station said the intersection should be a 4-way stop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one guy said there's a petition for it that goes up every now and then, but I don't know. Town doesn't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
I'm all about roundabouts. Love those things.
Mm.
Though, like, it is scary when you get to a city. Like, there's one in Kingston, and it's funny. Because I actually had somebody try to wave me into the roundabout. I'm like, no, please, just go.
Yeah, just go. Oh, I hate that when someone has a right of way and they screw up the flow of traffic by like, no, you go.
Yeah. Like, no, you just do your thing. Like, I'll get in there when I get in there, sir.
Yeah.
And there's, like, nobody behind him, so I'm like...
Yeah, exactly.
And you could tell, like, I was hesitating because I'm like, we're both going to hesitate. Just... What was it? A driving teacher told me, it's like, don't be courteous, be predictable.
Be predictable, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, red cameras out there, but, what is it? We're basically just driving big metal death traps that are fueled by explosions. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. I was never really a car guy until I thought about a big metal box propelling us at speeds humans were never meant to go. And it's just fueled by constant explosion. So, that's... No, battery. All right, so yeah. Gotta love that. I think I need another drink, so do we want to, like, call pause and charge another battery?
Cause pause, we can wrap it up. We're already in an hour and 30 minutes. Oh, there goes that camera. Yeah, that's the thing about, I gotta get a camera that actually records nonstop. And there's many out there. I just gotta find one that really fits me. Hello, Mugwai. Hello.
No. Don't go on that. Yeah, we love you, but
so we're gonna wrap up this episode. Overall, the trip to US was pretty cool for how last minute it was. Wish it didn't storm. We've been getting... Okay, there's been a lot of unnecessary storms lately. The amount of storms that have been happening in Ottawa is completely outrageous. We had I think 2 tornadoes in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Thanks, Obama.
We had a lot of storms, hailstorms. I went to a customer's house on Friday, yesterday, and the entire hood of his car and roof of his car was dented in by a whole bunch of hail. It was pretty bad. And his shutters on his windows, you know how like people put the decorative shutters on the sides of their windows? Like they're not functional. They just kind of...
Really?
Yeah, they don't do anything.
I've seen people take, like, I know somebody bought like a nice antique home and they took the functional shutters off of it.
What?
Yeah, it's like really like turn of the century home. Like it's old.
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's old. You go in right away and you're like, holy, like this place feels like one of those spots that they put a museum in smaller towns.
Yeah.
But it's just a living
like
home.
a heritage home, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, no, we're gonna make it modern kitchen, modern everything. Like take the shutters down that are functional. I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah, that cheeses me.
Yeah, it's sad, but hey.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, people from the city come in and they're like, oh, it's cheap homes and they can renovate it and make it money off of it, but it's like, you know, that thing's probably worth more as a heritage home.
Shit.
Well, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not a real estate agent. I would just assume, you know, they don't build them like that anymore.
Nope. Yeah. Dang.
It's an antique. And you ruined it. You burned it all to hell.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's how people sell houses now. Like everyone wants, you know, new looking-ish places.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
I'm always like torn between like I want a clean look and then I also want that I don't want to call it boho, but you know, like that unhinged, like there's things all over the walls, like they've got rubber ducks all over the counter.
Yeah.
Like what, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make that look good. Like when you do it right, like I know some people who did it very well, and they just got like magnets everywhere, and the colors work, and it's just very homey. Like it feels comfortable. It feels lived in.
Yeah.
Like they got
very
rubber
like
ducks
warm
on the
feeling.
thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do right.
Yeah.
And you know, every now and then I'm like, I should just buy a suit of armor and put it in the corner, as every man does. Every man wants to do.
Shit. Yeah. Well,
we're wrapping this up.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. Yeah, so hopefully we can start doing more episodes. Have some equipment coming in soon. Make the setup process a little easier. But I got a Patreon account. Don't expect any footage right away, but I'm hoping to post some behind the scenes content or random content in general. That way, guys, if you guys want to see it, sign up for the Patreon. I'll let you guys know what that is later. Maybe in the next episode or 2, I'll send you the link of what that is. That way, you guys can help support the podcast. The more you support, the bigger we grow as a podcast. And we would greatly appreciate that. But for those of you who stuck around since the very beginning, I appreciate you guys, and you guys know who you are. But other than that, yeah, you can go on our other accounts. Like, I started a TikTok account. I'm not on it. I feel a little ashamed of starting TikTok because people are like, "Don't you start TikTok, man? I'm disowning you. Don't you ever start a TikTok account?" But I did it for a business strategy, and it is like their algorithm is pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie. I post a video on there, and it's pretty. It doesn't take long to get views. I'll tell you that one. But Facebook is not bad. Facebook actually does have a pretty good algorithm, but I'm not gonna get into it. But other than that, you can watch my YouTube channel as the video version of this will be appearing on there. Eventually, since Spotify has the Spotify for video, I'm gonna start releasing episodes on Spotify for the video version, so that'll be pretty neat. But yeah, check out my YouTube channel, simply called Nathan Kirk. That way you guys can watch the video version of this podcast. The audio version of this podcast will be available anywhere where you listen to podcasts, which is distributed by Anchor, not a sponsor. But yeah, hope you guys have a good day, week, month, or whatever y'all be doing lately. Do you have anything to say, Simon?
If you watch the video version, there's a good chance you'll see a cute cat.
Yeah.
That's then you don't even have to subscribe to the Patreon for that. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Cat.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.